Welcome back. Still to come, Christmas cookery and cocktails, plus day 3 of our nativity. Before that, it's our prize draw.
Get ready to jingle all the way to the bank, because I want to make all your wishes come true, because I've got £120,000 wrapped up just for you. So come on, what are you waiting for? It's £120,000 and it's tax-free. For your chance to win, just call. Call 09041 61 99 99. Calls cost no more than £1.54 from BT landlines. Calls from other networks may be higher, and from mobiles will be considerably more. Text jingle to 82336. Text costs £1.50 plus one standard network rate message. You can also enter for free at the website. Entrants must be 18 or over. Entries made after draw closes at midday on Tuesday the 31st of December will not be counted, but may still be charged. Best of luck.
Yes, good luck with that. Now, earlier this week, One Direction singer Harry Styles won a court order stopping the paparazzi from harassing him. It comes after claims that he was unhappy with the methods and tactics of certain photographers, but is being followed and photographed just part and parcel of being in the spotlight. Or should celebrities have the right to privacy?
Well, we're joined by Blues Lee Ryan, who's had several public run-ins with the paparazzi, former Fleet Street editor Neil Wallace, and Dominic Crossley, a specialist in the law relating to defamation, privacy and harassment, all of which have plenty to say on the subject. So welcome, all of you.
Welcome.
We said in that introduction there you have a bit of previous with the Paps, don't you?
Yeah, lots. I mean, the same as Harry. I was 16 when I joined Blue, so you know, similar age to when he first got in One Direction, and it's a hard thing to kind of grasp when you first get in the industry, and it's, you know, they can be very intrusive and goad you to kind of, you know, get a reaction from you.
I mean, for you it got quite serious because there were a couple of counts of criminal damage and you had to pay a bit of compensation to the
I kicked a few cameras in my past.
So, is it right for you to do something like that? If you're a star, if you're in a band, this comes with the territory, surely?
I think, for one, it was me being young and a bit wild from my past, but also I mean, I don't want to go into the reasons why I did what I did, but it's definitely, I could first-hand seeing the way paparazzi behave can be quite despicable sometimes.
Because you're up for having your photos taken. You're a celebrity.
Yeah, and I'm sure Harry Styles is as well.
So that's not what you're talking about, but it's a level. It's a level of intrusion that you had an issue with.
I mean, to just cap it off in one kind of, like, I've seen paparazzi put their cameras up women's skirts. I mean, that's just below the belt, disgusting.
Literally.
Yeah, it's just wrong, and it's not something that is even going to be used in any kind of publication. You know, that's just damn right low, and I feel that there's no kind of boundary there.
I've been out with women presenters, and I've heard what they shout at women presenters in order to get a reaction, in order to make
and now they have
cry.
cameras as well.
Yeah.
So they want to catch it on film.
Neil, let's speak to you, because you say that this is very much part of the territory of being a celebrity. You know, you do a deal with the devil, and this is what you should expect.
Yeah, one of the reasons One Direction are the world's biggest ever boy band is because of the paparazzi that we're now talking about. When you do this, when Lee chose to become a member of Blue, they knew exactly what they're doing. And there is a basic truth, which is to become the world's biggest boy band, you have to get lots of young teenage girls screaming after you, and you have to have your photograph taken an awful lot, because it's very little to do with the talent of the song. And so the truth of the matter is, you see, I've been both sides of the fence. I was a PR and I've been a journalist. And there's no sadder sound in the world than a star from a boy band ringing you up and saying, but I was on a red carpet last night, why isn't my picture in the paper? They will kill to do it. And the other thing, of course, is that it's generally the managers and the PRs who tell the paparazzi where the stars are going to be.
Two things here. First of all, in the High Court, it was said, Harry's lawyer said, this is not a privacy order. Mr. Styles is not trying to prevent fans from approaching him in the street and taking photos. He remains happy to do that. He also, as he always has, rather, this is the method or tactics which have been used by a certain type of photographer. Photographers pursuing him by car or motorcycle, placing him under surveillance, loitering or waiting within 50 metres of his home to monitor his movements or taking photos of him in such circumstances. There must be surely a boundary, because you are a singer or a star of any sort. Surely that doesn't mean that you give up every ounce of privacy.
I think it's a very dangerous or a very difficult line to walk, to be honest, because we have seen in recent times, haven't we, there have been lots of instances where celebrities have taken advantage of their position. Now, in cutting back in some way on the ability to keep people in the public eye can be a double-edged sword. Now, one of the things you have to understand here is when you say paparazzi, I don't even really know anymore what they are, and it's a very grey area.
These are the freelance, guys, they hang around outside.
No, I absolutely hear what you're saying, but a lot of you go to many of these the sort of red carpet type things, and the kids turning up.
But we're not talking about that. We've got to be careful. We've only got a limited amount of time, and I don't want to get caught up in what is... Harry Styles would walk down a red carpet and expect that. Of course he would. Anyone walking down a red carpet is there
outside your house is maybe a different...
If you're being pursued on a motorbike, then that's surely dangerous. It can be frightening. And I think, you know, Princess Diana was a prime example.
Well, of course, we're talking... gave very powerful evidence at the Leveson inquiry about leaving a nightclub as a young sort of 20-something girl and being chased down sort of alleys late at night by packs of men. And she made the analogy, you know, if they weren't holding cameras, then, you know, the police would have been called.
Absolutely.
But why weren't the police called? I never understand. Well, you see, it's all very easy to say there's some evil... Yeah, but the police have a job to do. If there's harassment, if there is bullying, if there's intimidation, the police have a job to do. And there are plenty of police there.
Well, that's why Harry went to court.
I find it extraordinary, the idea...
He went to court for that reason. He went to court because there was harassment.
And he would have only done that as a complete last resort. I mean,
what's the law?
Well, the law is the Protection from Harassment Act, and it's from pursuing a course of conduct that amounts to harassment. It's a very simple piece of legislation, and someone like Harry Styles or Sienna Miller, you know, only take these steps as an absolute last resort.
Well, except
and
I take
issue with your comments.
Harry Styles is an expert at getting himself, you know, and
well, I'm not sure that's right. He went on to a show. They were very successful on it, and they've become a very successful band. I don't think it's got anything to do with the paparazzi, their level of success. I just don't think that's right.
Would you like it if someone was being intrusive? As soon as you open your front door, you had a camera in your face. I know,
but you will have seen it.
Would you like it? I mean, it's not whether you were in one direction or not.
I would doubt I like it, but then again, I haven't done the deal with the devil, which is...
It's not deal with the devil. Well,
being
a musician is not a deal with the devil.
Yeah, but being in a boy band is not the same as being a musician.
If your skill in life is that you're a good singer, that's your skill in life. As yours is, you're a good journalist, you're a good writer. Does that mean just because you're good at something, that's your natural skill in life, that you should be penalised?
Do you think it's a coincidence that when One Direction were trying to break America, suddenly Harry Styles had a very high-profile relationship with a very successful American singer.
I think that people date people they work with. I married somebody that I worked with.
Then later
the chances are he's going to go out
at the same time. Well, no, you're just carrying on talking. Hang on a second.
But I think it's fair enough to say that you say, oh, he ended up with Taylor Swift. Well, do you know what? He's a musician, she's a musician. They probably hang out together. The chances are.
And then she complained that she actually felt she had been used by him to actually get them profile in America.
You said you took exception to what was said. What do you take exception to?
I took exception to the point that someone's success is necessarily due to the paparazzi. And this is a mob of men with cameras chasing people down the street, standing outside their houses. The success that they achieved was through television and through music.
But to feed that beast the way it is, trust me, I've been in PR, I know, you know, a huge amount of it is keeping you in the public eye.
But when you're at home, and the crux of this is if you're at home, is that a place where you shouldn't necessarily be staked out? You shouldn't be pursued. You shouldn't be under surveillance. And I think this is the crux of what the matter is, that you are dangerously chased and you are under surveillance.
I think that's a valid point, I have to say. I agree with you that it's very difficult when you get that close to the situation.
But this is what it's about.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is, though, what I'm saying is the difficulty is when you turn that on and off. Now, outside that house, there will be almost certainly a big pack of young fans as well. As I said earlier, they usually know where they are because the managers and the PRs have told the paps.
You asked a very important question there. You said, what do you do about this as a newspaper man?
Do you take responsibility for that when you're working for a newspaper and you know that these photographs are being made available to you?
Again, a perfectly valid point. I think, you know, it becomes obvious that when you're a newspaper man and you see a certain sort of picture, you can tell where that is. But one of the things you've got to remember, Dominic, is that now this is not just about newspapers.
I agree
and there's this huge issue of the internet, and you've got this huge issue of the internet, and, well, fair enough, the magazines as well, but it's a big problem because much of this doesn't even appear in newspapers.
Do you think a lot of people, especially in your position, in Harry's position, the rest of the band, anyone who's successful, there is an element you lose sympathy because you're jealous of what they've got?
Do
you think
what people
don't you complain because you're so lucky
of
to be in that
course
situation?
people the general public would think, well, why are you moaning? You've got X amount of millions in the bank, you're standing on stage with thousands of people screaming at you. But it's like you said, the point of selling your soul to the devil, this is totally wrong. You don't sell your soul to the devil to become in the public eye, or as a musician and you love singing and you want to be on stage and you want to be, you know, performing, but you never get into the industry knowing exactly what it's about, and it is intrusive and it is very, very hard to deal with. And let's not forget, Harry Styles is a young man.
He's only 19.
He's he's a teenager.
And it's not
for him to grab perspective on that at such a young age is so difficult. And I'm coming from first-hand experience.
Yeah, you did an interview in which you actually warned him and the rest of the band about getting the right kind of people around you, and I think that's really wise, because it's about making sure they don't go too far.
Yeah, I'm going to pause both of you there, just to look at Twitter here. Nigel said, despite limited time for the paparazzi debate, Philip Schofield inevitably plays the Princess Diana card. Is that playing a card, or is that an important part of the debate?
It's a very important part of the debate, and there was an inquiry that followed her death, quite rightly, and I know newspaper groups got together to think about how they could deal with this. And the fact is that nothing changed, that this kind of conduct continues.
Well, there is simply nonsense.
Well, what is the system that you operate
to
make sure you do not buy photographs from the types of agencies that employ these people?
What there is
5 seconds.
Okay, newspapers know how difficult this subject is. They are very scrupulous about it. The issue is where these pictures, these images appear, and it's not usually in the newspapers.
Final word, Lee.
From first-hand of talking about the Princess Diana, you know, a sad
which
death
is almost
of her,
20 years ago.
Which was still a sad, you know, for our nation. But at the end of the day, I've been first-hand where the paparazzi have been right up against side of the car, and you're trying your hardest to get away from them, and they're on these little motorcycles,
and it's dangerous.
And it is very, very dangerous. And you know, I've seen that firsthand.
We're going to have to leave this here, I'm afraid. We've run out of time. Obviously, something that everybody feels, you know, very important about. But thank you very much all for being here today.
Thank you.
Phil Vickery's here after the break.